Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Cannot be saved. Follow me.
Rock is a weapon.
Welcome to the Ugly Radio on the Podmoth Network, a lo-fi sci-fi audio theater anthology series made for late nights and strong drinks. Join us monthly as we broadcast a pirate signal across time and space, featuring stories, songs, and frequencies from a rotating list of voice actors, writers, storytellers, and musicians. If you're looking for high-quality science fiction, skin-crawling horror, and other genre fiction, listen to The Ugly Radio on the Podmoth Network, now available wherever you get your podcasts. The Ugly Radio. See you in the void.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I'm your host Dave, and today I'm joined by the always wonderfully handsome-faced man, Nicholas Einsman. How's it going, bud?
I'm like looking at myself on the Riverside app, and I look very disheveled.
Really? I think that's your good side. I think you look really good right now.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was up till like 6 o'clock this morning watching Korean films with my friend Aram.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great.
So by
great.
Korean films, you mean Asian porn, and by arm, you mean your arm.
No. My friend Aram was over here.
Okay.
And she showed me the magical world of Korean mafia movies, because that's a thing.
No.
And they're great. They're great. Also, to jump back to what I said last week about your new intro music.
It's grown on you and you love it?
No, you know what it reminds me of? The Nightmare Before Christmas Oogie Boogie's Return Game Boy Advance game.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that game sucked.
Yeah, but it's still awesome. It's fun. Nick, where's your sense of your sense of holiday spirit, your holiday pride?
This is not a holiday. It is a lifestyle. Look at this. Look at this right here.
Nicholas,
For all of you can't see it. This is a little devil fucking painting that one of my best friends painted for me for my birthday. But it's too small and I can't find a frame for it. So it just lives on my desk.
Well, Nicholas, I don't know what to
David.
tell you. It's good music. I'm having fun with it. You're going to have to just live with it.
It's your podcast.
I'm sorry.
It's your podcast.
Yeah, don't yuck my yum, bro.
Don't come on my farm and tell me that's not my pig.
Okay. Oh shit.
That is my pig, sir.
That is all right, Nicholas. I believe I told you what we're covering today.
You did,
but I'm not gonna say it right up top because I want the listeners. I guess they'll see the title of the episode. But
to be fair, I don't know too much about it. I know that one sighting that I asked you about.
Oh,
and that's kind of it.
No, yeah, I didn't include that in this because just the story alone of the subject that we're going to be talking about today is enough to just fill the whole episode. But everyone, are you ready to dive into this, Nicholas?
I'm ready to fly into it.
Okay, so on today's episode, I thought we would travel outside of the borders of the U.S. for a change. We don't normally cover monsters outside of our home country or even outside of the English.
We've talked about them a few times.
Not really outside of the English-speaking world. We did Sam the Sandown Clown, but England is just what I like to call American Senior. And
I miss Sam the Sandown Clown.
I know, but I think it's time we start branching out because, god damn, Nicholas, there is some creepy as fuck folklore out there, and I think that I just don't think enough people know about. You got the yokai in Japan, which I know everyone loves. The jinn of Islamic mythology.
Which are terrifying.
Yeah, they're all nightmares. And then you got the Guishin of Korea. Just a lot of real missed opportunities on our part for some really good creepy folklore. But I was thinking about it, and I think the reason why I tend to stay away from those kind of topics is because a lot of those folklore stories, like the Wendigo or the Jinn or anything like that, But the Wendigo I was even hesitant to do an episode about is because like these folkloric tales are really deeply rooted in a lot of those cultures and belief systems. And I don't feel like a white dude with a microphone sitting alone in a room, could ever truly cover the subject matter completely, while also not just like completely offending people who hold those beliefs. It's like a really thin line to walk.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if there was 2 white guys in that room, I think we could get away with it.
It's like, gotcha. It's because I feel like because the show is called Cryptid Cocktail Party, and technically they aren't cryptids, and things like the Wendigo and the Skinwalker get lumped into those categories, and that's not what they are. So the question is, should I be covering these folkloric stories with centuries of deep cultural significance from outside of the US? Probably not. But I mean, I'm still gonna.
You know why? Because I'm David Prescott.
Exactly. So on this episode, we're going to be heading to the Philippines to cover one of the more terrifying creatures I have ever had the displeasure of learning about. And I hope it bums you all out as much as it did me. And this folkloric monster is known as the Manananggal. I've heard many
Manananggal. It sounds like a drink.
I've heard many different ways of pronouncing it. There's Manananggal, Manananggal, and the Manananggal. I think Manananggal.
I like the Manananggal.
Manananggal is the one that I actually looked up the pronunciation of it, and an actual Filipino person was on the YouTube video telling me how to. So I'm going to go with Manananggal. Manananggal.
Okay.
All right. So
it sounds like a drink. It sounds like a Mai Tai.
Yeah, it does sound like a really fruity drink with like an umbrella in it.
Yeah. It's going to stab you.
So the Manananggal is a type of aswang, which is an umbrella term for a whole mess of terrifying evil creatures in Filipino folklore. You got things like ghosts, vampires, witches, ghouls, and even those get broken down into subcategories of aswang, which includes my favorite category and the one that the Manananggal falls into, which is the self-segmenting viscera sucker. What is that?
Is that a medical condition?
No, it could be. It definitely
is.
Yeah. So self-segmenting viscera sucker.
If you have it, go to a doctor immediately.
I told you this is going to be a bummer of an episode. This is going to be like, it's like gore porn basically. All right. So you ready to dive into this nightmare?
Yeah.
You don't seem so thrilled about it.
I don't like gore.
Oh, well, I mean, this is good.
I know.
So, according to folklore, during the day, the Manananggal is said to resemble a beautiful woman. Think like a Taylor Swift or an Ariana Grande, just a real girl next door, bring home to your mom type vibe about her. It's said she is exceptionally adept at keeping and hiding her evil and monstrous form hidden from those around her, and can maintain full-on platonic and romantic relationships. They can do this so well, it's said that in some cases they even get married. It's only at night that their true form comes out and they show themselves for what they truly are. They sprout leathery bat-like wings, their face and mouth turn twisted and demonic, fangs protrude from their teeth, their hands turn long and claw-like, and then their torso rips itself from its lower half and it flies off into the night, its intestines dangling from its now torn in half body, and it hunts for unsuspecting prey. Much like a Taylor Swift or an Ariana Grande. What? Nicholas, again, this is an audio platform.
No, I know.
Use your words.
All right. That's disgusting, first off. That is the most Lovecraftian bullshit I've ever heard outside of like just reading Lovecraft or anyone that's like, oh yeah, this is based off of Lovecraft work. That's fucked. Nope.
Yeah.
I'll stay out of the Philippines.
Nick.
I don't need to go.
Nick, it only gets so much worse from here.
Oh, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. It's interesting that you use the word leathery.
Yeah.
And you didn't say that, you heard the flesh kind of cracking as it came out, like the Frank Show gargoyle.
No, that wasn't in any of the texts there.
Oh, right? I didn't say that it was cracking. There was no description of.
No, there was no squelching involved. I'm sorry. Although the squelching sounds, if they didn't happen before, they're gonna happen now. Are you ready?
Ugh, no.
So Nick, you may be asking yourself, how and what?
I'm not.
How and
I
what?
guarantee you, I'm not asking any questions right now, other than why I said I would come on to this week's episode.
No, so how and what does this nightmarish monster feed on is what you're probably asking yourself. No.
Now I am.
All right. Well, it preys on those in their most vulnerable state. The sleeping.
Oh.
It would have been much better if it was like on the toilet. But no, it's when they're sleeping.
Don't come at me when I'm pooping, man.
Okay, so how it does this is once it has found its victim, it will perch on a roof or outside a window or a door. It will then look for even like the tiniest of openings and use its now long tubular tongue to enter the victim's body either through their nose, mouth, ear, or torso and feed on their organs, liver, hearts, lungs, suck its blood, you name it. But, Nicholas, it has a favorite victim type. You say that it kind of has a preference, you would say. And
It's got a kink.
Can you guess what that is?
Young men.
Heavily pregnant women. And this is an actual quote from CNN Philippines. Quote, heavily pregnant women whose nutrient-rich fetuses she can suck out like a raw egg, end quote.
What the fuck? What is this flying anteater from hell? This is like a mosquito on crack. I expect this shit out of Kensington.
Dude, I told you, it's a bummer. It's not, none of this is fun, but it's such a fucking nightmarish creature that I had to keep it in. Also, I'm really bummed out that you didn't laugh at any of my Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift jokes. The fact that I used it 3 times to describe this thing. I worked really hard on this.
I don't find either of those people attractive. And I know that you've got a hard on for Taylor Swift, considering every time that we drink, you put on more Taylor Swift music than I think I've ever listened to in my life.
Dude, her music makes me feel things. Okay. Anyways, what are you gonna say?
So you're telling me we have a Zoe Deschanel, right?
Mm-hmm.
That like sweetheart during the day, super cute, super pretty.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere,
no, just at night.
She goes at night. Mm-hmm. She comes full Jeepers Creepers. And by the way, her torso rips in half.
Yeah. Yeah. From like the waist up, she just fucking rips their bottom rips the bottom half.
Couple of tequila shots, I'm in.
Okay. But now I know that this is bumming you out, and I know that it's very terrifying, but I don't want you to fret, Nick. All right. There are a couple of ways to combat the Manananggal. First, to prevent the Manananggal from entering your home, you can leave small pots of uncooked rice, ash, or salt around the home, which will deter it from landing. The other way is if you just like happen to stumble across the bottom half of a dismembered woman while out on a nightly stroll, you can sprinkle ash, vinegar, or crushed garlic on it, which sounds more like a recipe than a form of monster slaying. But by doing this, it will prevent the upper half from reattaching to its bottom half, which is key since the Manananggal has an aversion to sunlight. And if its two halves aren't reconnected before daybreak, the creature will die. It's basically vampire rules.
So let me ask you this. If the Manananggal top half was able to find a dark place, like a cave or something,
I don't know.
What are the rules?
Yeah, because I don't know if the bottom half, I think it has to reattach. I think no matter what, it has to be reattached. Because I think
I would just leave it in a dark place.
The bottom half?
Yeah. Like if I know that like my body is going to rip in half, right? But I'm going to live through it as long as I get back to it in the morning. I'm going to leave it in like a tree on someone's roof. Well, I don't want anyone finding that.
Well, here you go. So obviously the creature knows this, that it will die if it goes in the sunlight. So finding the bottom half of the Manananggal can be tricky, as they do like to hide their legs. Now, where they hide it is in banana fields, due to the fact that fell banana stalks already have the appearance of legs and makes them easier to miss if you're just walking by. And I looked it up, and that's true. Banana fields do kind of look like a bunch of legs all over the ground.
But I've never seen a banana field before.
But also, this kind of also, I just thought of this. How many serial killers in the Philippines got away with just murdering and dismembering bodies and just leaving the lower half there? And then people walk like, oh, Manananggal, got to sprinkle this with some salt and ash, and then didn't even.
I'm sure so many people took advantage of it.
They had to have, right? There had to have been at least one.
Oh,
right?
I'd say at least 5.
True. This story is centuries and centuries and centuries old.
Yeah.
The first recorded like writing of it, I think, came from Spanish missionaries, like when the Spanish took over the Philippines, and that was like what, the 1500s. And
I guess so.
I'm gonna assume that the stories go way further back, right?
Yeah. I don't like this thing at all.
Well, Nick, I know you don't like it, but I'm sure you're now wondering, how does one become a Manananggal? Is it like a spiritual
Actually, yeah. I was very curious about that.
So you're probably thinking, is it a spiritual possession, a curse? Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
No, there are a few different ways. All of them are involving a black chick, like a black baby bird, not.
Yeah.
You get it.
I was going to say, you might want to.
No, it's because it's a black. All right. So one way is if a woman eats a baby black chicken that was produced from the throat of an older, more experienced Manananggal, which your face is saying it all. Fucking disgusting.
Well, my question is, why would you actively seek?
Yeah, I don't know. It never said. I don't know why you'd want to, but
listen, I've woken up and wanted to do like random things before, right? Like this morning, I woke up and was craving a chicken sandwich from Burger King, right? But I've never woken up.
The long one or the regular one?
The long one.
Thank you. Thank Christ. I love the long chicken sandwiches, and everyone fucking shits on them because it's literally 3 ingredients: chicken, mayonnaise, and lettuce. There's nothing else on it.
Oh, you got
the perfect
have you ever had cheese on it?
No.
Oh, you got to get cheese on it.
But I do like to dip mine in the Burger King honey mustard because that honey mustard from Burger King is fucking.
You know, I'll tell you what. Next time I see you, I'll bring over a couple of chicken sandwiches. We'll get some honey mustard. We'll get one with cheese on it.
The cheese is a game changer though, because I put cheese on my chicken. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, it's like you know who told me that?
Who?
My mother.
Really? Angela
Years ago, yeah. When I was like a kid. She was like, "Can I do a chicken sandwich with mayo, lettuce, and cheese?" I'm like, "You can do that." It's a whole game changer.
Ahead of the curve.
You add
God damn.
a strawberry milkshake to it. Game changer. Ultimate meal.
Oh,
I'm gonna go get one after this.
I'm a sucker for a strawberry sandwich. All right.
But what I'm saying is I've never woken up and was like, I want to become a half demon.
So you've never woken up and chosen violence?
Well, I mean, I have, but I've never
not to this extent.
I've become like a fucking nightmare creature from, Leviathan.
Yeah, dude, this is fucking brutal. All right. Another way you can become a Manananggal says that you need an egg of a chicken that you're sure contains a black chick and a special ointment. They don't say what the ointment is, but anyways, so are you ready for this? You put the egg under your armpit and then anoint yourself with the ointment while reciting some like incantation. And you keep doing this until the armpit egg has like disappeared. I'm going to assume like inside of your body and not just like crushed under the weight of your arm. But if the ritual is completed successfully, then you will be transformed into a Manananggal. There are more ways for one to become this thing, but these are like most widely believed ones. Yeah. Now, for the reason all these stories involve this bird is because it's said that black chicken, the bird, will live inside the Manananggal, feasting on its organs to stay alive, like a parasitic symbiotic relationship. And this is the reason the Manananggal has to feed on the organs or fetuses of others, both to stay alive and assure that the black chicken also lives, again, like a symbiotic relationship.
Why?
I don't know.
Like, what is the host getting out of this? They're getting nothing.
Well, I mean, during the day, they're like a hot chick.
So, okay, so they automatically become a hot chick.
It didn't say, but you would think that would be there would be a payoff for this, and I couldn't find any reason why you'd want to do this. But I mean, it
doesn't sound like there's a payoff.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's folklore, man. There's not. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess with like the Wendigo, there's like an origin story. Like a hunter was trapped in the woods and he feasted upon the flesh and then became the first Wendigo. This, right. I have no fucking idea why you'd want to eat a throat chicken.
Someone looked at another chicken and was like, I wonder if this is like a charcoal tasting chicken. And they ate this chicken and then like they woke up at night and half their body was missing. They're like, what the fuck? And then they ate someone else.
Well, maybe
that's what started it. Just confusion.
Maybe this is just silky propaganda because silkies are black chickens. The people in the Philippines just fucking hate silkies. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Now, luckily, Nick, there is a way to cure a freshman Manananggal and get the bird out before it grows like a parasite inside the woman and it's too late to even go from there. Now, one method is hanging the woman upside down from a tree, fumigating her with smoke, and then you beat her until she throws up the bird. Or option 2, which is a little less violent, but also still terrifying. You're still going to hang her upside down from a tree, but then you're going to swing her around like a tire swing until she gets nauseous enough to just throw the bird up. Both, again,
So
sound
either
awful.
way, she has to throw up.
Yeah,
throw up.
They both sound awful, and not like a good time.
So, I mean, couldn't you just feed her a bunch of like rotten food and then have her puke?
Nah, where's the fun in that?
You get to see somebody puke. Just straight faced. I want to see that girl puke. Imagine this. There's this one guy in this small Filipino village, and he's going around tying people upside down and like making these poor women like puke. And they're like, Jack, this guy's not like, these are not Mananagols. Well,
Better
gotta
safe
be
than
sure.
sorry.
Gotta be thorough. And he like
Turns out he's just some weird. He's like an Albert Fish type deal. He's just like some weird,
he's got
fucked up
he's got a
sexual
deal for
fetish.
fucking puke.
God damn.
Puts it in a bowl, calls it chowder. You did this. You chose this topic.
I did.
I ran with it.
This is such a bummer, but but there you have it. This is the tale of the Manananggal, and its origins and how you can prevent your liver from being sucked out of your nose by a ripped apart flying carcass with a gross ass crazy straw tongue. Nick, how you feeling about this? How you feeling about the Manananggal?
I don't like it.
Why?
I don't like it at all.
What's wrong with it?
It listen, it's got a lot of different characteristics of other folkloric creatures, right? You see a lot of like vampiric things. The whole has to be, inside before nighttime. It's going to reattach. We see a lot of eating one thing to becoming another thing. A lot of like having to consume the flesh of another human being. That type of stuff. So it's interesting in that aspect that all of these characteristics create another completely different creature for whatever culture that it's in. I think that's really interesting. But the imagery is horrifying.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
So the one thing I wanted to, the Oswang, so they don't have like, the only reason they exist is to just be evil. Like they have no motive. They're just fucking evil for like no reason. And I thought that was fucking amazing. Like you're wondering, why would anyone do this? Why would so it says here that although with no specific motive other than harming others, their behavior can be interpreted as an inversion of the traditional Filipinos' values. But literally, they just have no other reason to do any of this than just to be fucking up people left and right. And
I mean, yeah, they literally woke up and chose violence. So I imagine the people that are becoming Mananangals are like assholes to begin with, in which case, throw ash on them and all. Like, throw ash on every single like mean person you see in your Filipino village and see if they pop like a slug. Just carry pocket ash. If you go to the Philippines, carry pocket ash with you, especially if you're pregnant.
Yeah. Maybe have like a nightlight on or something.
Like, yeah, something UV lamps all around you. Get a nice tan while you're sleeping.
Yeah, basically make your house an entire grow room.
Yeah, cover your ass in ash or your mouth in ash, however they get in.
It's all bad. All right, Nick. Well, thank you so much for I guess what's it called? Enduring this episode. Again, it was a bummer, but it was a lot of fun. I think this was a fun episode.
It was a fun episode. Listen, Dave, I'll come on whenever. You can tell me ridiculous stories about people getting sucked dry by a fucking half demon anytime you want.
Dude, the fact that its entrails are just like
yeah.
It's so
well. That's like the
brutal.
other thing too.
Like it's not like the bottom half. It's not like the bottom half and the top half turn into two different. Like it's not a clean cut. Like they fucking tear their legs off, and it's like, oh, see you later.
Well, right, and that's my other question: is like, how do things not fall out?
I don't know. The bird. Maybe the bird's keeping it all in there. I have no fucking idea, man.
That bird's got a fucking stressful ass job. Intestines are heavy, man.
That's the payoff. All right, so that's what the bird's getting out of the like. So the host is getting its entrails not completely spattering onto the ground when it takes flight because the bird's holding on, and then the bird gets fetuses and sucked out like an egg yolk to munch on. Okay, you wanna end this?
I do. I don't want to think about this anymore. I have a date later.
You're gonna bring this up.
I am.
You're gonna bring this up.
I told her I was recording this podcast. She listened to a few of the episodes.
I'm sorry for her.
She hates my voice, so that's gonna be interesting.
Hopefully you guys are just going to like the movies so you don't have to talk. What, she hates your hates your voice when you're recording or like in person?
In general, she can't stand my voice.
And you're going on a date?
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 dates of me just being silent.
Well, what the? Don't do that to yourself.
It's for the bit.
Your voice is kind of grating. All right, Nick.
Wow, thanks. You know what,
Nicholas?
I'm gonna cut my vocal cords.
Hey, why don't you plug your stuff? We'll end this.
Well, Dave, again, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
If you want to learn about watch history and all that fun stuff, if you have a ticking love of all things horology, find us on YouTube at A Limited Time LLC. Or Neo Vintage Nick.
Oh yeah, I tried tagging those in the photo of the last post, but apparently I can't tag either of them. This is I'm not allowed to tag you in photos.
That's weird. I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But yeah, follow me on Instagram at neovintage.nick, and I make watch memes.
You do
sell
that.
Watches.
You do that.
One of them hit like 132,000 views.
That's wild. Real side note.
It's just Bill Hader dancing.
My favorite, I commented on it. You didn't even respond. There's that video of you and you're talking about this really fancy watch, and then you put a glove on, and then you proceed to lift the watch up with your ungloved hands. I saw that. I fucking died laughing.
I filmed it, and then I was like, I wonder if anyone's gonna notice this.
That was the first thing I noticed. You put this glove on to touch this watch, and then you just immediately grabbed it with the ungloved hand. So good. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Nick for getting bummed out real quick. Don't worry, we'll cheer it up later. Follow us on Instagram at Cryptid Cocktail. Follow us on Twitter at Cryptid Cocktail. Follow us on TikTok at Cryptid Cocktail Party. And with that, Nick, say goodbye to the lovely, lovely people.
Adios, muchachos.